Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, Zach Stat Pearson, and today I'm joined by the 9,000th officer plus one, Matthew Copps.
Hey, how you doing? Seems we all managed to survive that extreme cold.
He says, not realizing it started snowing outside again.
It's just a little bit of snow. It'll be fine. In Chicago, we're prepared for that.
For those of you who aren't up on things, besides the fact that, global warming and cooling, could be a fucking issue for a lot of people, it already is in Chicago. Especially since Chicago, if anyone knows anything about geography, has to deal with lake effect. So that polar vortex gets colder the deeper you are in the city. And I'm pretty fucking deep. I had a pipe burst in my own building on the bottom floor, which means everybody above it got screwed. So, yeah. Winter done came and shitted on everything.
Literally.
All right, topic one. It's been a long-held belief that major game companies, noting how eerie it is for articles to call consumers, throat issues. It's been a long-held belief that major game companies, noting how eerie it is for articles to call consumers and a hobby self-righteous or implying that we were as a while being petty if they do not purchase titles relating to some kind of conflict. I feel like that's not worded correctly.
You get the feeling that's the case as well.
Okay, well, I'm going to just do this by the seat of my pants because apparently grammar check got my ass. All right. So for, I want to say at least a good 10 to 12 years, it's been a common thing to see articles from journalists or implied journalists, as well as people who have nothing to do with actual game development and aren't even general hobbyists, saying and stating that consumers are whiny or they're selfish or self-righteous if they have concerns or issues about how and what they spend their money on during certain game titles. Now, my question to you is, do you think that they are justified in their claims of saying that the hobbyist and the consumer is ungrateful douchebags, and in some cases literally saying that, when they have a complaint about small issues or even any issues inside of a game? Or do you think that this may be a tactic used by bigger corporations to pay journalists and various entities to try to alter the situation in public perception? Topic 2, Electronic Arts, our favorite little punching bag, claims they're underperforming after constantly selling upwards of 6 million copies of almost all their titles. Do you think that this statement is a lie or a manipulation tactic to possibly get diehard fans to indulge in purchasing more DLC and other related things from their company? Or do you feel like there may be another reason why they constantly make this claim, even though they are one of the highest grossing businesses in the world? Which is kind of fucked up when you think about it. Highest grossing doesn't always mean most money, but it means you getting that most money the fastest, I guess. Topic 3. Has anyone noticed that Netflix has yet to cancel Punisher? Do you guys think that Marvel may have decided to restrict Netflix to only being able to create shows that will have a rated R? Or did they just forget to take out Old Yeller? Points to you if you get the reference. Topic 4. Which I don't know when the right time to talk about this would have been, so I'm going to just say right now, officer, if you get offended, it wasn't intentional. Although his body may have left this world, his legacy is not. Stan Lieber, also known as Stan Lee, can no longer provide cameos to the superhero movie world. Are there any longtime legends or possible people you think would make a decent replacement as far as cameos go in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And since you're the only motherfucker here besides me, go ahead and, knock them bitches out.
Okay, let's see here. For topic 1, I think it's largely a case by case basis. If the complaint is for something, even if it's something small, but it's a legit problem in the game, yeah, don't call them a sissy complainer. If it's causing a problem, fix it. But if it's something, it's hard to actually think about this in a non-political way, considering the current climate of things. Because people might be using that same, oh, they're just complaining and being petty about it, for maybe asking for, I don't know, more notable women in gaming, or, for games to be a bit more multicultural, so to speak. So, I think that might be part of it as well, an attempt to maybe kind of silence them, but at the same time, I don't think that's going to work so well. But, as I said at the start here, it's case by case basis. If it's a legit problem, well, go for it. If it's something like, this 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 level only runs at like 58 frames per second, I want 60, then that might be a little bit petty.
To be fair, my question was more on the lines of people who find an issue and they refuse to give money, not so much trivial stuff. But to be fair, frame per second, it's not trivial depending on what you do, especially if you MLG or something like that.
I suppose. So when people bring up an issue and they intentionally ignore it, which is
Yeah, or the developer hides it and then tries to ban or block the person for asking questions, and then here comes a reporter or so-called journalist saying, "You guys are babies" and crap like that.
well, when you put it like that, yeah, it sounds like they're intentionally trying to hide problems with their games, which no, that don't fly. That don't fly at all. So top two. Yes, the triple A industry. Yeah, I think they're just bullshitting. And they're just greedy. I mean, come on. It's EA we're talking about. They're kind of, the best example of the problems in the triple A industry for games and the like. Now, topic three. If possible, I want to get a little bit of context here. The various shows that they've removed, were they moving them elsewhere or were they simply canceled?
We don't technically know, but it's heavily implied. The characters will be utilized again, but we don't know if it will be the same actors or production team.
I think maybe they just are okay with R-rated ones showing up on Netflix, because that's not something they could put on, normal TV, or that or some like Disney related streaming service, so they could maintain, at least in the official stuff, oh yeah, we're still family friendly, while keeping anything, rated R and all that, for a different platform entirely. Does I think what they might be doing, rather than taking the old dog out behind the shed to put them out of their misery.
Fair enough.
So, as for topic 4, I can't say I'm really offended by this topic being here.
Hey, look, people been telling me for the longest time, it's too soon to figure that out. I'm like, they didn't stop making movies just because he died.
Well, as far as I see it, I don't really think there's anyone who can replace him, unfortunately.
What makes you say that?
If only because, like, it was him and Kirby who made, well, at the very start, made, Marvel what it is. And I don't think there's anyone currently alive who has that same level of, not importance I'm thinking here, but that same level of I'm trying to think here. That same.
You're trying to say pimp status, or as white people like to put it, clout. You mean clout.
Yeah, I guess that would be the word to use here. There's just no that same level of clout and recognizability. So I think, as much as it would be sad that we're not going to be seeing him come some of the more newer Marvel movies, probably like from 2020 onward, it'll be sad, but, well, I honestly don't think there's anyone who could replace him, at least at this point. I don't know. Maybe they'll find someone and it could work. But as it is now, I can't really think of anyone who would be able to replace him. But don't get me wrong, I'm fine if they do find someone else to do cameos in life. It's just, I don't think it'll be as good as, Stan the Man. But I'd be okay if they got someone else to do cameos in life. I just don't think they'll really do that.
Fair enough. All right. So, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to topic 1, I mean, I think this may sound kind of messed up, but this may sound a little conspiracy theory, which I genuinely try to avoid those. I try to go on either rumors, facts, or things people tried to hide after someone else admitted to it or showed there was a flaw. This is none of that. I just want to preference that right now. I think that the gaming companies, not all of them, but select few, instead of giving out review copies and doing that shady bullshit of, oh, you can't review our game and talk about it unless you give it a guaranteed at least 8.0. That bullshit. Because they'll do that even if a game is good. They literally don't even know anymore. That's how messed up it is. I think that these big companies are paying people to try to promote and shine more of a light on their product. And I think one of the things that they can put in those promotional contracts is, hey, if we start getting any bad press or publicity from our own consumers, I want you guys to go and put money down and investments into making somebody write a piece that makes them look like petty assholes. However, and this is when we come into the factual side, there's also a lot of idiots who talk about the gaming industry just because someone told them to do. Washington Street Journal, which was bought by Amazon, they don't even have anything to do with video games, but in the past, actually not even like that long, in the past like 4 or 3 years, like whenever the Switch showed up, they started becoming more of a notable source. Notice how I said notable, not credible. And even though I've yet to see them do it, various gaming analysts go to papers like that and say that video game people are whiny. Here's why. When they don't play video games and they're just going off of general purpose information they can possibly find. I don't remember the dude's name, but about 5-6 years ago, and I think we covered this in the podcast. It was old by then too, but there was a illogical idiot gaming analyst or gaming, journalist type person who got all of his shit wrong so bad that other journalists and articles were talking about him. And he tried to backpedal and say, hey, I was just paid to write this article. I'm not a game expert. This is just something I was told to do. But the place he worked had a whole entire section that said that put him in charge of gaming analyst or in digital entertainment titles and articles. So he can't say it was just a one-off thing when he had been paid to do this for years. So I think on some level it's both. There are people getting paid, but there's also idiots. And that's the thing about an idiot. You can't train an idiot. If you train an idiot, it's not an idiot. I forgot who taught me that, but it still comes in handy after all these years.
Yeah, it does sound like a pretty useful advice.
Topic 2. Now, this one sounds like conspiracy theory, but it's not. It's just idiots with money, which makes it indirectly look like a publicity stunt. So the way I look at it, EA's claiming that their shit's underperforming is no different from Capcom saying that all their shit's underperforming. Shareholders don't have a concept of how money gets made. They just think, oh, we pay you to make a game, therefore we get money from the game. Not the fact that you get money off of the franchises, the merchandise, the DLC, the third-party stuff, the crossover stuff for free promotion. Sometimes it's paid promotion. They don't factor none of that in. They just see a dollar investment. So if a investor is dumb enough to think that since, okay, this company made record profit after record profit after record profit for X amount of years, that it's supposed to keep going like that. Electronic Arts is one of those companies that has the type of investors that not only don't play video games, but are the type of people that think that if every single game that they make gets sold and every single person who could possibly purchase it for that system purchases it, that they're going to lose their money because there's not more people buying systems. They're at that level of greedy and also stupid with a sprinkle of arrogance and a pinch of cinnamon. So the way I look at it, they're between a rock and a stupid place. The CEO doesn't want to tell them, actually, guys, this is like some of the best we'll ever be able to do. We were doing what's one of the oldest terms in both the music world and the corporate industry, riding the bubble. But the bubble didn't even pop. It just slowed down. If the bubble pops, your shit crash, you can't make profit. If it slows down, you still got profit, just not as much as you want. Which is why I still don't understand to this day why this is so much of a fucking issue. The only reason this is truly an issue is because of one reason. The people making the games and the CEO don't want to go to the shareholder and say, tough titty, fuck off, or stay. You're going to get paid, just not as much as you want, and there's not even going to be someone else who can get you as much as you want. Nintendo didn't have that problem. Nintendo had a swell of investors, I think for about 10 days after they started making mobile games, like serious mobile games. And then those investors left. That being said, Nintendo is private shareholder, meaning someone has to willfully give you shares and you still have to pay for them at the same time. And they just let all these people come in because they knew that they could use the money. And then they immediately turned around for one simple reason. They wanted to tell Nintendo what the fuck to do. And Nintendo was like, nah, bitch, we gonna show you how it's done and you gonna stay or you gonna go. And that's exactly what happened. And Nintendo has yet to fall from it. Everyone kept saying, well, Nintendo's gonna crash, man. Look at all those investors that left. Those investors hadn't even been there a full 30 days. They were just greedy bastards. You can tell them I said that. So I think it's both, in summary. Now, as far as topic 3, I have a really funny joke about this. I haven't found out how to whittle down the tell on stage yet, but basically, the Punisher's strapped to a chair. He's being shot at in his bulletproof vest, and people are carving on him. But when the camera pans out, it's just Netflix executives, and he's just like, "Is this the best you could do? Come on!" Just like Punisher, macho, regular 80s, 90s action star American movie shit. But he kills them all instead of the Netflix executive killing him, and he doesn't get canceled. And after the last guy tells him, "Fine, we won't cancel you," he slits his fucking throat. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think that, because it's been well documented that for some reason, the Marvel executives decided that they have a disinterest in the Netflix people who run the shows, which is stupid. We don't know what the reason is, but no matter what it is, it's a stupid and petty ass reason, and it's based in egos of people who aren't even creative types. You know how this stuff goes. You'll hit a cap or a ceiling with creative people, and then everyone above them is just looking for a payday. That's why the X-Men and Marvel shit took so long. That could have happened and should have happened almost 10 years ago. But petty people wanted to get money. And then other people who were less petty said, "Fuck you, I'm not going to deal with you." There's a right and a wrong, and then there's sometimes two wrongs. It's hard to tell when it comes to Marvel and Fox. Marvel and Sony, oh no, they've been doing shit straight pretty much from day one. Sony tried to make good movies on purpose. They realized they couldn't fucking do it straight. So they went the cartoon route, because like every single big company that deals with superheroes, from DC to Marvel, sometimes shit comes out better when you're not trying to deal with live action.
Sometimes, yeah.
DC has made, people don't realize, but I believe DC Warner Brothers has made, since 2008 or 9, they have made almost 25 animated movies, not television shows, movies. And of those 25, they got an 80 to 90% above average to good rate. That means that of damn near 20, 25 movies, they barely have like 5 or 6 bombs. I might not have been a target demographic for some of them, but I understand that. But that doesn't mean that, that's why I got the marks that I gave it. It'll get the marks that I give it based on the story and animation quality. Hence, another reason why I don't watch Ruby. RWBY. Like,
oh yeah, that series that
you will miss absolutely nothing from.
Yeah, some say it was ruined after Montiel died.
No, it was ruined, period, because the writing was inconsistent. It was filled with plot holes, and changing the animation, changing the characters, because everyone realized that everything on those characters was stolen or plagiarized, has nothing to do with it. It was not being utilized by creative talent that had a writing background. Creative people does not necessarily mean that they're creative writers.
Yup. The animation was really good, and that was what Montiel was good at. But writing, yeah, not.
Don't even get me started on his fucking wife, man. Like, I don't even understand what that bullshit is about. You get over $100,000 after your husband dies. None of that goes to his biological family, and then you go and buy fake tits? Seriously? But of course, we could be on her all day. Anyways, because I don't like people thinking I'm beating up on dead people unless, they're an asshole. Ohm was a lot of things, but he wasn't an asshole. People keep forgetting he used to come to ASIN. I met him a couple times, and he gave me a copy of Dead Fantasy. He had a big-ass fucking roll-away suitcase with Dead Fantasy in it. Wasn't charging nobody. Was giving his shit away. Pretty sure it wasn't legal for him to charge anyway.
Shit.
Yeah.
Kinda wish I had gotten a chance.
Well, yeah, you gotta remember, this is before we had each other's number and shit. So, I wasn't even sure you had a cell phone back then.
When? How far past are you thinking? Are you saying this was?
This was like, I believe, last time I saw him when he was giving on Dead Fantasy was, I want to say, 09, 08.
Damn. Alright, yeah, I was going to ASEN at that time, but didn't I think back then I didn't really even know you, so, oh well.
Yeah, anyways. What was it? Fuck, are we on topic 3 or 4? Oh yeah, 3. I'm sorry. Tangent.
Yeah, 3.
So what I think is going on is that Marvel's trying to make the Netflix writers an offer they can't refuse. And it's going one of two ways. One, they stay, they lose access to those characters or the ability to make a television show with those characters, and in exchange they get something else. Or B, their character is allowed to fold over into the MCU in the big screen, but they have to be modified or all of the Netflix stories disregarded. Or maybe A, or column C, which is not all of the above. Version C is we say your show continues forward on the our new Disney platform. However, everything is PG-13, which would depress the fuck out of me. And fucking some of the Netflix people is like, I ain't jabbing with that turkey, for lack of a better term. Also, just want to point out, I am not trying to bring that back. I was just saying it in this one situation. Jab turkey needs to not leave the 70s. Keep it where it is. So, fucking... Hold on a second.
So, what now?
Texting. Sorry about that. Wasn't expecting a late entry so much as I think people also forgot that if you type in your questions, I'll read them off and recite them on the podcast. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I just had to let them know. So yeah, on top of that type of thing, there's also the situation of does Marvel themselves notice or want to, basically dick right off the popularity, and they want to go in and use it after the character's popular, redesign and rewrite them however they want to do and not even use the same people. So it's really hard for me, at least. I would love to know what's going to happen. Now, that being said, looks like we will have some late submissions. In case you guys forgot, some of the people who podcast with me are actors or they have, interactive day jobs. So even if they have a set schedule, shit could change at the drop of a hat. Now, I think the other thing is also possibility of what if the mouse is trying to pull some strings? What if Disney as a whole, not even Marvel, but Disney wants to try to just erase the Netflix shows completely and then boom, go ahead and, try to rebrand every single character? There are so many possibilities that could be happening with the Punisher right now. I just don't know. I really don't know. But I think the one I think, yeah, I know, which bothers me. But in my heart, I feel like the one that most is possible is they will tell Netflix you can only do rated R and you can't use any characters that we decided we want to take back and use, which means that they automatically get to keep the Punisher, even though he could introduce so much character development. Not for himself, but for the other characters. Okay, so topic 4. Use his son, or I believe the oldest one. I can't remember his name. Officer, you might be able to look this up, but people don't realize it. But Stan Lee's son has been an actual producer, not an honorary one, in a lot of the Netflix stuff and some of the Marvel cartoons. I think his name is Tom Lieber. Not sure. And you know what? To help people learn and understand who he is, he should put the glasses across his chest, like, just have them hanging off of his shirt. I think that would be a really cool legacy. And while we're waiting for Chaos to submit her answers to questions, I'm going to clarify the first question for her. Officer, feel free to talk about things and, waste time.
So let's see here. Looking this up now, I see his daughter, but I'm not finding anything on Stanley's son. Though if it's as you said, that would be kind of cool. Actually, his son taking over. I hadn't really thought of that one, but from what I hear, his daughter did not exactly treat him well. So, assuming
Oh,
that's true,
details.
huh? What do you mean?
You can't just say his daughter didn't treat him well without explaining that shit.
Supposedly, she was quite a money grubber, and she basically kind of dropped him into the sort of retirement home sort of place he ended up in and didn't really much care about the mistreatment he was going through. Some are even saying supposedly she was partially responsible for that mistreatment, but I don't really know if that's the case. But yeah, assuming the various things that have been said about how his daughter did not treat him all that well, if that's the case, hell no, I do not want to see any cameos from her. She does not deserve this, or she does not deserve any prestige in that regard. Let's see here.
Well, in other news, because she's still not finished and you aren't reciting
Sorry,
shit. No, I understand. Some people when they read, no, I know. Some people when they read, they get quiet, but the mind gets active. So the Devil May Cry 5 demo came out, and depressing / surprising absolutely no one, yet everyone, you don't play Dante, you play fucking Nero. And in fact, I have now found out through various people who already have the fucking game and been playing it since as a tester, let alone as review copies, they've been You don't get access to Dante until chapter 10 of the game. So basically, you're not going to touch Dante till the halfway point of the game. But you get V and Nero by the third fucking stage. Dante, the main character of this franchise. To be fair, and I really shouldn't be because it's Capcom, they do have precedents for doing things like this. Case in point, Resident Evil. You never know who the main characters for that title are going to be. However, in the case of Devil May Cry, and literally every other thing Capcom has made, that was a non-issue with the exception of Onimusha. And even then, both these series, they start you off with going through different people's stories at different points in times in different games. That's not happening here. So, as per usual, the Capcom giveth and the Capcom taketh away. I'm going to just put it at that. That being said, I'm going to read Chaos's answers to question 2 and 3 and 4. Chaos, who's busy during an intermission in between her stage play thingy. There is always a marketing campaign of some sort that everyone does not want. They may have a lot of money, but it's just like how YouTubers will do horrible things because people ask, but still want people to like their videos and leave a comment. Everything helps them get money, and if they look a little desperate long enough, they can benefit from things. However, if they are lacking in sales, more so now than before, it will be understandable why they would claim to be underperforming. Just a reminder, that's her answer to question number 2. And that's actually a very strategic answer. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, number 3 is pretty simple because Chaos has a long outstanding history of Netflix grime to deal with. They just put Netflix's shit, that is all I will say. I'm pretty sure she likes the shows, but she just hates Netflix, so.
More than likely, yeah. We're heading out for now, so I will bid you all farewell. And remember, fuck Konami.
Thank you for playing.
Later.
Now, her answer for number 4 is, I am not that good at deciding people for replacing legends. First off, who is? There will never be a genius like Stan Lee and his works. There won't. But I don't think that there are creators out there that are worthy enough to stand below or beside him. I don't feel that these people will be given the right credit or have the ability to build up to the level Stan Lee was on. But we can dream, right? And now with that being said, let's go back to topic 1, or her answer for topic 1. Whether companies admit it or not, there will always be a good and bad side to journalism. Claiming that people are self-righteous for them is not a good marketing campaign, or it can help the person claimed as self-righteous get through life. It sucks, but it's true. Basically, journalists are fuck-ups, and they need to stop that shit. Sometimes people are just mad because something is messed up or broken. Okay, with that being said, this has been another quiet yet quick episode of Token Games Podcast. I will catch you guys when I catch you.